Junior banker responsibilities during close, part 1. This is lesson 2 of class 2. In this lesson, we will review the steps and procedures required by junior bankers prior to deal announcement and following deal announcement. Introduction. Part 1 of this lesson will review junior banker responsibilities prior to close. The main responsibility is the creation of the Round 2 VDR, which is supplemental to the already existing Round 1 VDR. The goal of the Round 2 VDR is to provide potential acquirers with enough information to conduct further diligence in anticipation of making an offer. Background. As the bid deadline looms, the junior bankers are tasked with facilitating management presentations, scheduling product demos, and answering a wide variety of diligence questions from potential buyers and their advisors. Once the client decides which bids to move forward with, the bankers will open up a Round 2 VDR to these potential buyers so that they can do more diligence on the client and arrive at a mutually agreeable offer. So going from the IOI to the LOI. Therefore, one of the most crucial activities of the junior bankers leading up to the deal announcement is the creation of the Round 2 VDR. The Round 2 VDR contains highly sensitive materials and is designated only for serious potential buyers. The client will likely work hand in hand with the bankers to determine which documents are allowed and the level of redaction necessary for each document. Bid submissions, procedural operations. At or around the bid deadline, so the submission of the IOIs, potential buyers will submit an indication of interest to the bankers, and then the bankers will collect those submissions and discuss the bids with the seller. In some cases, there are multiple potential buyers, and in other cases, there is only one potential buyer. And in some unfortunate situations, there will be no bids. In the case when the seller receives no bid submissions, the bid deadline will likely have to be extended, or the deal might not continue due to lack of interest. Round 2 VDR sensitivities. When a potential buyer puts forth an attractive bid, although it is not legally binding, it provides the seller with an additional layer of comfort that the buyer is serious with their intentions and is not simply conducting a reconnaissance mission. Creating a Round 2 VDR involves a lot of input from the client and meticulous attention to detail, ensuring that the right amount of redaction is utilized and the VDR permissions are set accordingly, depending on the buyer. Clients might prefer to share certain information with one buyer, but not with another in the Round 2 VDR. For example, information shared in the Round 2 VDR with a competitor might differ than information shared with a private equity firm, although all information will come forth during confirmatory due diligence. Round 2 VDR composition. Supplemental materials that are included in the Round 2 VDR include employee contracts and in-depth employee organizational charts, customer contracts, supplier contracts, more in-depth disclosures around product and technology, vesting schedules necessary to pay out current owners and employees during a change of control scenario, more in-depth case study and customer references, credit agreements with current lenders, more in-depth financial schedules that highlight revenue build, customer concentration, customer LTV, and customer acquisition costs. Additional notes. It should also be noted that an indication of interest is typically for discussion purposes only, and that bids are sometimes formatted without signature blocks. The main goal of an IOI, from the seller's perspective, is to help the seller better understand the market. There is no obligation for the seller to sell to the highest bidder. The collection of bids allows the seller to weigh its options and narrow down the participants that will continue in the process. If the seller is unintrigued by the terms of a particular bid, the bankers will kindly communicate to the bidder that the seller is no longer interested in moving forward. This saves the potential buyer from expending both time and resources in future diligence, and the bankers will remove the potential buyer from the VDR to reduce the exposure of confidential information. Next, junior banker responsibilities during close, part 2.